Right, Craig, thank you for joining us, mate. This is your session. So just tell me, mate, how are you and what have you been up to?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Dan. And so you just introduced me as like talking shit before. Am I allowed to swear now it's recording or not? I just
Yeah, swear away,
that.
mate.
So
Christmas.
fine.
Okay.
So talking shit. Then you got to introduce me, going right. We're going to even talk more shit. So no, I'm good. Thanks, Dan. Thank you very much. I'm all good. Like we had a chat before about the sun shining in the northwest, so I can't complain. So I'm guessing it's shining South Yorkshire too. So all good, mate.
Certainly is, mate. Yeah, which is a rarity, but
yeah. It certainly is, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely is. So, but no, good. We've got got a bit. Obviously, I'll explain a little bit more about. I'm just not some random IT guy turned up to explain how to change your appearance on your Zoom session. So I've not just come for that. So thanks very much for that. But yeah,
just give you a bit of an intro as to your background and kind of where you're at with stuff and how you've got to where you are. Just to, like you say, just give yourself just introduce yourself, really, Craig.
No, fine. Basically, I am Craig Skelton. I'm fundamentally a mortgage broker coach, I would sort of call myself. I've got I'm owner of CS Financial Group, which I set up 5 years ago. So we're coming for our 5th birthday. Various brands within the CS Financial Group. Didn't start out with CS Financial Group. It just started out with CS Mortgage Solutions because I couldn't think of any better name than using my initials and Mortgage Solutions in there, really. So it wasn't really inventive at the time. And in hindsight,
it doesn't need to be though, does it? It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be though, does it? I think people get too wrapped up in thinking of really jazzy kind of out there names, but
yeah. To be fair, I get that to a certain extent, and I do. Because it's funny, I've got quite a few. So part of what I do, which we'll talk about, is that I help mortgage brokers set up their own firms. So they have a trading style.
From S22 Ultra.
Oh, yeah, ignore Alexa. She's been naughty.
Is that the feedback on my appearance then? On my hair? Or...
yeah, so who the hell is that on your screen, dog? Get him off.
So I get, for some people, it's quite a big deal with regards to what they call their businesses, like, because like something I do is that I help mortgage brokers set their own business up. It's a trading style of CS Financial Group. But so some people are hung up on the names, and some people do spend quite a lot of time thinking about it, worrying about it. But yeah, back 5 years ago, I just went CS Mortgage Solutions, and then that was how it started, really. July 2017, started out with just myself and 2 mortgage brokers. I was at the time, so my background before that was large corporate, worked in the banking world, managed retail branches in banking, managed mortgage brokers in banking, managed national mortgage broker accounts for banking world, went into estate agency, mortgage services, about 8 years, more than that now, quite a few years ago, 15 years ago, went into estate agency, mortgage services, broking, part-time sales manager, and then just done various guises and under that. And then 5 years ago, whether it was a midlife crisis or whatever, I don't really know. But it wasn't a midlife crisis. I knew what I was doing. I planned it all along. But left the corporate world behind, left a decent salary, left the commission, left a decent team, and thought, you know what, I'll scroll that up and set my own firm up. And so with myself, 2 mortgage brokers, this is recorded, so I can't sort of say, but they came with me from my employer. So I didn't poach them, Your Honour, or anything like that to come across. Would never do anything like that, even though I've got all the legal letters to say that I did do that. So myself, 2 mortgage brokers. I went back advising, loved broking, loved that side of things, but knew that ultimately I always wanted to grow my business. Just to help brokers come into the self-employed world, I think, what more than anything else. And that's fundamentally what I do even now. So yeah, just 5 years ago, did that. 2 brokers, mortgage broking myself, and just growing the business, growing it organically. I think you know me, Dan, and Ash knows me like well as well, is that I'm not egotistical. I don't think I've got all the answers. I don't think I'm right all the time. I'm learning every single day. I run my business. I make mistakes day in, day out. I learn from those mistakes, but I just love what I do. I go in the business. What was CS Mortgage Solutions then became, we then had financial advisors in the firm. So we've got 2 financial advisors in the business. So you can't call the business CS Mortgage Solutions when you've got somebody going out to talk to clients about financial advising. So that's hence why CS Financial Group came about. So we've got CS Financial Group. We then have CS Mortgage Solutions, which we've got mortgage brokers trading under that CS Mortgage Solutions. We've also got CS Retirement Solutions, where we've got the financial advisors, equity release advisor as well within the business. CS Wealth Solutions as well as another brand. We've also got Renew My Mortgage, which is a purely online remortgage portal for clients to go online, fill in their own fact find, contact one of the brokers, get in touch with the clients then. And so it's not AI, because that's not for me. I'm not that technology based, but so there's still brokers behind the scenes. So the Renew My Mortgage is something I've been working on pretty recently in terms of getting that up off the ground.
It's quite technology based though, isn't it, Craig, to have that system set up? It's quite kind of forward thinking in that sense.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Dan, I struggle to say no. That's one thing that I have a problem with, is sort of going, yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's come back to bite me, but then I just enjoy doing what I'm doing. I think, but you're right. It is what I sort of saw with, there was a guy who was up another firm that is purely AI based. And so client fills in the fact find online, goes into a portal, technology based system, comes back with a recommendation. But I just thought that was losing the broker. I think it just felt it was cutting out the mortgage broker. And I'm very pro mortgage broker. I'm worked in, like I said, banking, worked in estate agency, mortgage services, but I'm very pro broker because brokers are bloody good at what they do. And I think that will never change. There will always be a need for mortgage brokers because not everybody fits the perfect mold of, yeah, this is my remortgage. Even though now we sort of just started this, the Renew My Mortgage and what we're doing, we're still getting interaction that brokers need, that interaction. So clients just don't go fill in the fact find, we get it through and it says, yep, I'm on a 20-year fix, I'm on a 20-year term with Halifax, I'm on a 2-year deal, I'm on a 5-year deal, and it's like for like, income's fine, no dramas, no issues. We're still not getting that from the automated stuff that we're doing. So brokers will always be king. We'll always need mortgage brokers in the mortgage world. And what we're trying to do with Renew My Mortgage is just really still promoting mortgage brokers and what they do, but then giving it back to the clients to then fill in their own fact find, upload. We use a portal, so the client uploads their own documents and things like that, and then we'll do the sourcing once we've got all the documents, interact with the client through a portal. So they do it all through secure messaging whenever they want, when they want. But I think I just try and whatever a client's looking to do within financial services, I try and get it within the CS Financial Group. That's all I'm probably, and that will come out when the more we talk about client retention and other things as well. All I'm trying to do is, it's like we started with Mortgage Solutions. I always knew that I wanted to go into the wealth space as a business. I'm not qualified. I never in a million years want to sit down and do my diploma. I'm just not my drive right now, even though I've got this enhanced thing on. I am 50 years old, so like, even though I know I don't look it, thanks very much, but the enhanced, but I've got the same settings as what Dan's got on. So, but yeah, even though it's going back, I think it's just, the thing is, it's just technology will move forward. The mortgage broking world will move forward. But I think the thing with it is that I just want to be able to embrace, we get a client within the business, we should be able to service them in every single aspect of their financial need, apart from obviously unsecured loans and banking and stuff like that. But we should be able to retain that client within the business and help them out, whatever their needs are. Because I think the one thing that I learned was that fairly quickly was that if we didn't have it and it was the client was then going out into the open marketplace to look at, I need a pension, or I need to invest some money, or I need an ISA, or things like that. The external people were there. I worked hard to get a client. I worked hard to get a lead. I worked hard to convert that lead into business and get them as a client. But then I was leaving them exposed to then, right, I need a pension now. So they were going to the financial advisor or going into the open market and then getting poached for the mortgage stuff. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. And then my protection and my clawbacks, and thinking, hang on a minute, this is just wrong. And so I just need to make sure that whatever we offer within the business covers pretty much what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's but that's always been my the way that I've sort of seen it from a mortgage broker point of view, because once a client buys into you, you've got that trust, you've built the rapport, you've spent all that time, you want to retain that and don't, because people, even though clients are your best friends when they need you, they'll do everything for you within reason when they want to get the house, want to get the mortgage and everything else. But trust me, they do forget 6 months in, they'll forget who you are. Like 12, if you don't touch them or talk to them 12 months in, they're like, who? I can't remember who my mortgage broker was. Whereas I think you work so hard to get the client in the first place. And then if you're part of your process and follow-up process and your post-completion process is looking at other avenues and other income streams, then you just subconsciously saying to the client, look, Craig's got it sorted. I don't need to go anywhere else because I've got everything under this roof. So I don't need to reach out and look at Money Supermarket for protection, or somebody's touting me for a cheap will or a free will. And I'll come on to that. It's like, I don't need to look at that because I've got it all sorted under one roof. And I think it's just then, and in fairness, it's the same with brokers. Like I'm exactly the same with the business I've set up. It's exactly the same way that within the world of CS Financial Group, a broker could come into the business, totally inexperienced, never sold the mortgage before. They get all the help and support from me to set up the mortgage, like to become a broker. But then if they want to go and set their own business, they can do that within the safety net of CS Financial Group kind of thing. So again, it's like, I'm just trying to make sure that there's no reason for people to go elsewhere. So it's same I've just replicated that as a business with mortgage brokers, as mortgage brokers do with their clients, if that makes sense. Yeah. Thanks. I'm getting a nod back. So that's what I'll take that as So
it's the trust thing, isn't it? Like you say, the trust is the hardest thing to get from someone, especially when it's financial services, or it's a massive financial commitment. To trust somebody with that is a big thing. And when, like you say, when they've done it once with the mortgage, and then they've got to go out and do it again with like the pensions or in the investments, but they don't need to do that, I suppose, with your model. It's once and everything.
And that's the thing, is like trust I'm very passionate about the core values of business and what we do, and we do pin that heart on a sleeve with everything that we do with the client. So trust is a massive, massive thing where we get feedback. We do invite clients to leave us Trustpilot. We use Trustpilot as the review. Like obviously there's other things that other mechanisms that people can collect reviews. I use Trustpilot purely because it was something I'd used in the past. So it's something I knew and it was easy to interact with the business. And so we use Trustpilot from day one, and we proactively get reviews from our clients. The beauty of it is I take it out of the advisor's hand, which can be a little bit daunting sometimes, but we do automated Trustpilot reviews from a business. So even though, like brokers sometimes don't don't do that client, but you tend to find if people have had a bad experience, which we don't find with obviously the business, I'm saying that wholeheartedly, but you tend to find people don't give you too many bad feedback or one star. I think we had a 2-star review a few years ago, and that was just a misunderstanding between what the mortgage broker was there to do and what the client expected them to do. So they were complaining about solicitors and stuff like that. But trust is a massive thing. So that's why we use Trustpilot. As a business, we use the Trustpilot reviews we use them on the social media platforms. The brokers, I use them as a business on social media, Access Mortgage Solutions. The brokers use them on their own platforms as well, because I think that's one thing that I see brokers miss out on a lot is they don't ask for referrals, but then they don't ask for reviews as well, because sometimes they're scared of the feedback or scared that it's like, oh, I don't want to ask for a review. I'm just sort of, whereas you just got to be brave and just take the bull by the horns and just go, do you know what? And I think once you start to get one and see the benefit of it, and then you get referrals from your reviews and you're proactive with your reviews and you're putting everything out there, and you do, even if you get a bad review, we've turned the bad review into negative review, and we've had referrals on the back of somebody that gave us the 2-star review. We've had a 2-star review, and we've had a 1 4-star review. And the feedback from that person was, well, I don't give anything 5 stars. It's like, you're knocking my averages down, mate. You need to get that.
Everything was perfect, but they were like,
yeah, it was.
The
comments were unbelievable. The comments were, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Did everything they said they were going to do, blah, 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 blah. Would use them again, 4 stars. I'm like, what the hell? What do we? And I actually, because I do message the clients personally and say, thank them for reviews, or thanks for using CS Mortgage Solutions, or whatever. And I reach out to those, like the 2-star one, I picked up the phone, and the 4-star one, and they just came back and said, we just don't give 5 stars in anything. You will only get a 4-star. Like 4 stars is like a 5-star from us. It's like, really? We work on averages. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, trust is a massive, massive thing. And I think once you build that trust with a client, retaining that today with the client and building that when you look at mortgage broking, this is not a quick win. It's not a quick choice of a career, is it? You're not going to become a mortgage broker and think, you know what, next year I'm going to try something else or do something else. You're building a long-term career with this. And I think if you're getting feedback from the client and you're getting that positive feedback and you're building that relationship, they want to, what you're trying to do, what I say to the brokers in the firm is that whatever happens in financial services to that client, the first image they need to have in their head is you. That's it. So they're thinking, do you know what? Money's a bit tight right now. We need to let's look at your finances and how much you're paying. What's that policy going out for legal in general? How much is that again? And I think it's like, oh yeah, we set that up with Craig. Like, and if they're thinking about that, it's like, well, fine. If they want to cut some costs and budget and stuff like that, but they come back in all this, they've got to have that image of you. So it's like, we want to move house. Craig's the person or the image that comes in the head, or they're talking to the mate down the pub. Oh, we're having a nightmare we're thinking about moving house, trying to sort his mortgage out. Craig's the person you need to speak to. And I think subconsciously, the more interaction you have with the client, you build up your trust, build up rapport, and do the right thing by them. You will, unfortunately, for me, my face will pick up on my clients like in their head and think, do you know what, I need to speak to Craig on that and talk to Craig about it. So I think that's all you're trying to do all the time, is just the more you touch them is then for them to remember you and then talk to you about whatever their financial needs are. So then if they've got conflict, so for example, they've talked to Mr. Financial Advisor Jones about the pension, and then something comes, it's like, oh, is that Craig or is that him I'm talking to? Whereas we've got to see this as one. This is not meaning you've got to be, as a mortgage broker, financial advising and doing all of it. It doesn't matter like that. You don't do that. You just need to work with somebody and refer to somebody that you know and trust that does, whether that's in your firm, whether it's in your network. But I do really sort of believe in working on relationships outside of yourself as well, to then look at that and think about, because you will do it. Like, you will, if you're thinking, I need to find a financial advisor to work with and somebody that I know and trust, you'll Google financial advisor in my area and look at reviews and look at things like that, because you just naturally will look at that to then think, I might be reach out to them, or you'll talk to your network and things like that as well. But a big thing for me about retention is making sure that whatever happens, the client has your image. And yes, you're referring to a third party, but they know that they're dealing with you. So that third party always it's got to be mutual trust there between you and that third party as well. So even when we didn't have financial advisors in the business, when I set out 5 years ago, we still had a financial advisor external in the firm that we knew and trusted. And it was a case of, they don't touch the mortgages, they don't touch the protection, they don't touch anything else. We've referred you for a pension. I'm just talking about the pension. That's all they're talking about, all the investment. And that's there. But I think if you set the benchmarks from the start and everything's clear, and you're getting feedback on the client and you're interacting with the client, it's then they then know because you'll find that financial advisors don't want to do mortgages because they're too bloody difficult. There's too much work in them from a financial point of view. They just want that quick win. And talking about, I want to know whether you've got 200 grand in the bank or whether you're putting 200, 500 quid a month into your pension kind of thing. They don't care about mortgages. They don't want to do them. So I think you'll find that if you build that relationship up with somebody locally, don't have to be locally, it's just somebody that you know and trust, then again, it just then cements the relationship that you have with the client. Sorry, Dan, and this is the reason why I haven't done slides, because I guarantee it always goes off on a tangent. I got some notes and thought, you know what, let's make some notes and let's think about, and literally no agenda, it's just gone out the window already.
It's better like that, Craig. It's like just honest then, and you're shooting from the hip rather than just talking about rehearsed bullshit.
Yeah, the value is
unrehearsed.
Yeah, the nuances and the off the cuff kind of stuff, like you say. That's where the value is, isn't it? Because that's coming from the heart.
It is, and I think that the thing is, like, always knew that we were going to grow that way, but I get that's not for everybody. I think and I get that. Having financial advisors, having equity release advisors, doing like the things that we've got to refer to, like that's not for everybody. I get all that, but actually you have to have somebody that you want to work with and you know and trust, because it's all about client retention. That's the big thing. And I know we talked, you gave me freedom of the floor, Dan, which I appreciate that. And you said to me a few weeks ago, like, what do you want to talk about? And I think just because I see, like, you're all sat here on here right now, working with Dan, working on these sort of things. That's like a massive step to be part of something, because there's so many brokers out there that don't reach out and don't work with people because they're too scared, they don't know, they see it as a weakness. And it's like bullshit. Just there's so many people out there and so many groups and so many things that you can learn from each other. Like you know what, like Dan Ash knows me better than anybody else. I don't think I know everything. I don't tell what people to do or how they should be doing it, because nobody tells me what to do. I just get passionate about people being mortgage brokers and enjoying doing what they're doing. And people that have come into this, things that frustrate me, are people that come into this industry and work hard to get the CM up and work hard to get that, and just really over promising and under delivery is my biggest bugbear. That's the corporate bullshit that I left years and years ago. It's sort of, that's not me. Whereas for me, it's very much about under promising, over delivering. And that's the same from a client point of view. You should be like, that's how, if you say to your client, you're going to call them back on Thursday and you ring them Wednesday, you're already on the front foot as an advisor, because the client's going, Jesus, like it's a positive experience from the start, because you're then under promising and over delivering. Whereas if you're ringing on a Friday saying, oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't get back to you yesterday, you're on the back foot. And I hate that. I'm not a person on the back foot. I'm very much a person on the front foot all the time. So going back to my, like you say, it's with regards to your clients and the client retention and growing your business and the things that we've done as a business. I understand that's not for everybody. And I am now a massive luxury, because we've got 17 mortgage brokers in the firm, and we've got 2 financial advisors, an equity release advisor. We've got top 10 on Trustpilot in the UK, and we've got CS Mortgage Solutions Retirement and all these different brands and stuff like that going on. But 5 years ago, I was building no mates with effing nothing. I had no brand. I'll be honest with you, I set my business up. I left the corporate world behind on an understanding that I was going to be working with a massive estate agent in West Yorkshire. And that's how I thought, you know what, that's going to give me a quick win, get me off the ground. And the 4th of July, 2017, the day I was authorized to start trading, that person rang me up and said, Craig, I'm really sorry, but we can't work with you now because we've got a large corporate, they've got a national agreement, and that just changed overnight. So I could have sat there and thought, do you know what? Jesus Christ, like,
go to the
I'm on
pub.
the first day of...
You could have thought, I'll go to the pub and drink a lot of whiskies.
Yeah. And I was like, sat
which is what you did, Craig, isn't
like,
it?
I know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, the pub's only down the road. No, I think I like sat there and thought, I've got choice right now what to do. I could easily go back to the corporate world and say, do you know what? I made a massive mistake. Take my big salary back. I'll look after the team again. I'll take my job back, and pardon my French, I'll take it up the backside like I've done for the last however many years. And I thought to myself, I can't do that. I've come too far to do that. That's not why I've done this. And I just thought, you've just got to get on with it. And I think that's not, like I said, I don't think everything I've done right. I've absolutely fundamentally haven't. I've made some absolutely monumental mistakes and had times where, Jesus Christ, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to get out of this? But I look back 5 years ago and think, do you know what? We've come such a long way since then. And I had a choice to make at that time, taking the easy route and going back to what I knew, or thinking, do you know what? Let's just go for it. And I think the big thing for me has always been from the start was about building my own brand and not somebody else's. That was the thing. So I think people that are, like, you've got people on this session, Dan, I'm saying people, and because I'm too quick to go around everybody's name and stuff like that, but you've already taken that step and that choice to then build your own brand yourself, because if you wasn't, you wouldn't be on these sorts of sessions to looking at building your own brand. And I think that's the big thing that I learned along, like 5 years ago and 4 years ago. And I started to I worked hard, given background, I worked hard to get introduced on board, worked with estate agents and get some quick wins and stuff like that, which is the easy thing. And I took that route at that time, but I knew that was never my long-term plan, because, forgive me here for anybody who's an estate agent, but like I know a few good estate agents. There are a few, one or two, but most of them are just pain in the ass that just literally will drop you for the next, somebody comes along and says, you know what, they'll give me, you're giving me 25, they'll give me 30. It's just like, really? Is that the relationship we've got? Like, we've built up. So I think it's good to have introduced on board. And if you've got a good one, absolutely keep hold of it and build that relationship up and make sure you do that. But I knew that balance was going to, when we first set out, 90% of our business were coming from introducers. Now it's 10%. It literally just took that swing from one to the other. But that's taken time over the last 5 years to do that. And that's from focusing on leads, focusing on the brand. Yes, you want new leads coming through, but also going to the nth degree with the leads that come in. Because I think that's one thing that I do see, is that going back to the trust thing and the service thing you talked about, Dan, is that as a mortgage broker, if you're doing this for the money, and this is purely my opinion, everything I say is my opinion. I don't expect anybody to agree with me or disagree with me. This is just my opinion on it. If you've been a mortgage broker for the income and solely for the income it brings, you're in the wrong industry. If you provide the service, deliver on the service, build trust with your client, build rapport, and do what you say and do your job. If you just do your job and deliver on the service, the income will follow. The income will come behind it. If you focus on the income and not the service, you might have a quick book today, you might have a quick win, but you're not going to build a sustainable business long term. You're just not. So we focus as a business of getting the new leads in, but then also looking after those leads as well. And we know, like, it's about getting those clients and getting those leads, turn them into clients, and it's not just moving on to the next one. We do. I have a saying in the firm, and I will always have this, and my brokers in the firm know what I'm talking about, is that I will say to them, F you until you're told FO. And what I mean by that is follow up until that client says to you, Craig, will you F off and leave me alone? I'm never going to work with you or do business with you. And then I know I've got a decision then, because as brokers, we'll chase stuff up, but we'll never get any answers. We'll never get any communication back. So I want that answer to say, so I will ring them, I will email them, I will text them, I'll WhatsApp them, I will ring them and withhold the number, and I'll keep ringing them, withholding the number, because they will pick up eventually, because curiosity will kill them. That curiosity will kill them. If you're ringing them and then you then ring them again straight away with all the number, and then you do it again with all the number, or you do it an hour later, they're gonna pick up. They will pick up at some stage and go, do you know what? And if they say, Craig, right, I'm glad I've picked up now, because I don't want, I've sold my mortgage out and I don't want to use you. And I say, well, can we? That's
what you want.
Exactly, you've got an answer. And I'll say to them, have you sorted your protection out? Have you got a will in place? Have you done your estate planning? Have you done I've done this, that, and that. I still have a pitch at them, because we're not just about the mortgage, but at least you've got an answer.
Yeah.
But
it's like I think like a no is a lot better than a nothing or a maybe. Yeah, I'd rather have
exactly.
a no. And
you've got no closure. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, you've got no closure on that fact. So I think, like you say, it's just, so we do follow up. It is about turning those leads into clients. And then once we've got those clients, it's then not, which goes round full circle, is then we're not giving them an excuse to go elsewhere. And I think, so when you look at things like, and trust me, I've seen this and I do understand, because mortgage brokers, and again, this is just my opinion, mortgage brokers will sit there and go, I've got no opportunity for financial advice referrals. I've got no opportunity for it. If you work with a good quality financial advisor, they will help you and coach you and show you how you generate financial advice leads from mortgage broker clients. Because at some stage, people will need pensions. We just have, and honestly, I'm not about easy stories, but this is just something that was literally just happened to us this week. And if we didn't hammer our clients, and I'm saying hammer because we send newsletters and we do things proactively from we do market our mortgage clients and talk about financial advice referrals. We do market those clients. But we've had a mortgage client who had no money, had nothing, and last week, they've had a payout. They've had a blame claim kind of situation going on, and they've got paid out 2 million quid. This client has got 2 million quid. So they've rang up saying, happy days, we're paying his mortgage off. Fine, how much have you got left? And then we're now turning that into as an investment client. We've now got them as we've lost them as a mortgage client, and now we've got them as a financial advice client.
2 million quid under.
Exactly, but we wouldn't have got, if we hadn't been hammering them about the financial advice stuff that we can offer within the business. We wouldn't have. They'd have paid the mortgage off. We'd have known about it 5 years later. Going, your remortgage is due. Yeah, I paid it off 4.5 years ago, Craig. Thanks for kind of thing. So, like I say, it's not the good financial advisors out there want to work with mortgage brokers, but want to work with good mortgage brokers. So there's that mutual respect, because you'll also find as well, financial advisors don't want to do mortgages. So if you work with a good financial advisor, they'll send you stuff back. They will send you the mortgages. And that's how they don't want to do the protection. They don't want to do the mortgages. They certainly don't want to talk about estate planning, wills, trusts, and the rest of it. And you can refer stuff on like that as well. So you open up your eyes to a lot more things. And that's something that I learned when somebody said something to me 5 years ago when I looked to set my business up, and they sort of said, when you're a mortgage broker, when you're first setting out in your own business, and whether you're under a firm or your own business, you've got your head down, you're in the grind, you're trying to get business, you're trying to get clients, convert those leads, and but there will be a point, whether that's 2 years in, 3 years in, 5 years in, there will be a point where you lift your head up and go, do you know what, there is more, I'm okay, comfortable now with my lead generation. I've got 200 mortgage clients, I've got 300 mortgage clients. You lift your head up and think, right, how can I work smarter with this? And can I earn money from, we pay out as like I said, we're not doing it from an income point of view, but we pay mortgage brokers referral fees into business referral fees. And the mortgage broker last week just got paid 600 quid for sending a referral to the financial advisor. It's like, they wouldn't have got, it's 600 quid. Like, that's fair enough, it's only 600 quid, but you just send them once a month, 7.5 grand a year. Well, it's 7.5 grand a year, but then it's all flipping us on the head and saying, I'm retaining my client, because then that client's not going to go to another financial advisor under another network or another firm who's then going to poach my protection, stuff like that. So yeah, it works both ways as well from that point of view. And I think that's why, if you haven't got a financial advice referral within your armor, within your business, or within your network, or somebody that you can know and trust, then I'd certainly say reach out and trying to find one, because it's a great partnership, because they won't want to do mortgages, they won't want to do protection, but they'll certainly look after your clients. And if they've got that mutual respect going on, you then know they don't want to do mortgages, so they ain't going to poach your mortgage clients. You know they don't want to do protections, so they're not going to poach those. But then it's a win-win for both of you, really. And I think that's the sort of thing is getting. It contradicts what I've said before, because it's about the service. But with something like that, it is about the service. But then you've also got to think about the pound that's going to come back to you for the referrals within that. It's the same as like commercial mortgages. Like we do very well, and the advisors in the firm do very well on commercial stuff as well. Like equity release, like that's. Again, we've got something in the business, but mortgage brokers refer back to the equity release advisor and earn income on the back of that as well. So there's all these different things that just then earn the broker. They're just working smarter, not harder, because we know what it's like. It's tough life being a mortgage broker. Why would you not want to earn more money from the clients that you've got already in front of you? Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Dan, I'm going to get off my soapbox now, because literally just realised the time, just that I've gone on for like the last 35 minutes and not come up for air, not took a swig of tea or anything like that whatsoever, and just sort of, and that happened. Like, and I'm not going to apologise for getting passionate, but that's just how I am.
This is what you sit quietly. I've noticed a trend with Craig. He sits quietly, and you always act like, whenever I talk to you normally, you're like really quiet, and then whenever I've done interviews with you, or whenever this is what happens. You just go, blah, 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 and it's just like keep going, passion. It's like so obviously that you care, and I'm like, so and then you always go, oh, sorry, it's been 25 minutes.
Yeah, don't apologise, mate. It's
right. I think I do like something, because as you see the things I do, and like it's about I don't. I love working with brokers that are like-minded, who want to generate their own leads. Things like there's certain things that frustrate me, and I've had a few things already, but things like there's plenty of mortgage clients that you've got to have an abundance mentality being a mortgage broker, because there are plenty of mortgage business out there. There are plenty of clients who need a mortgage. 80% of the population who own their own home. Like 80% of the population need a mortgage. So there's plenty of clients out there for everybody. And so for me, like I just want to help mortgage brokers run the bit, like set up the business, run the business, become mortgage brokers, build a long-term career. And if I can help them, I can help them, and they don't have to listen to me going on. Like I've said, it's my opinion, and I do give a shit about it, because I think it's a rewarding career that you can earn very well out of. And it's a need for, I want to build the trust back into the financial advice world, because in fairness, a lot of it's been broken hereditary, and a lot of people, like I wasn't in the industry at that time, people on here weren't in the industry at the time, but there is sort of, we've got to look at building that trust back up within the financial, because if you put yourself out there, I can see the comments from the trolls out there that just don't like financial advisors, don't like mortgage brokers, don't like mortgage advisors, because they don't trust them. So going back to what you're saying, Dan, it's all about that trust. But once you build that trust up with a client and you shout about it, you're going to help. That's what clients are looking for. Clients just want an easy life. They want somebody to help them get a mortgage sorted out, somebody they know can trust and do that. And that's the thing. If they want to save time and money, well, a mortgage broker, you can certainly save them time, and you can certainly save them money. So, well, it's a win-win from a client's point of view.
Yeah. And it's just about getting that across, isn't it, to people? And yeah, which is
absolutely
part of what we do from a marketing perspective.
definitely. Sorry, can anybody got any questions or feedback or comments or anything like that? Because I'm just literally just breathing. I can take a deep breath now and go, because I'm sure, like I meant to say at the start, just stop me if I'm rabbiting on or going on, and hopefully you can understand my Yorkshire dialect. And I certainly know Dan can, because like we've been brought up in the similar sort of part of world. So
even though you do sound like a mank.
The thing is, I can't mute you. I can normally mute you, Dan, because normally I'm the host on any session we've ever had. I can normally mute, but like that's the worst thing you could say to me. Being a Yorkshireman, that is the worst thing you could say to me.
But you shouldn't have. Didn't you live there at one point? Is that why you picked it?
Worked there. I lived in Sheffield, but worked in Manchester. So yeah. So let me off. And I'm old enough to remember the days of Hacienda, Stone Roses, Happy Mondays. So I spent all my life on the M62 going over to Manchester. So
but it did. That was the hub, wasn't it, back in the day for the music scene in the UK?
It certainly was. Yeah, certainly was. So yeah. Nobody else knows what Hacienda is. Look, everybody else is too young to understand.
An apartment block, innit?
I was at Manchester University.
Gav, you muted yourself. Oh, was you, Gav? All right, okay then. Happy days.
Was it a poly back then?
No. There was a poly. The poly was Manchester Metropolitan University. It was MMU, and everyone called it Mickey Mouse University.
University snobbery. You guys.
100. It usually came with a song as well.
My sister went to Liverpool University, and then I said, "Oh, my friend went. Where did they go? Oh, John Moores. No,
They didn't go to the real university.
That's not Liverpool University." I was like, "Oh, shut up." Anyway, go on. Questions for Craig?
Has anyone got any questions for Craig?
No, they probably aren't, because they're probably just money-making machines already, so it's fine.
No? Mark hasn't even got a question. Mark's usually on it with the questions, but...
I got a question for you then, Craig, because there's loads of stuff that... How would you recommend somebody... you're quite lucky that you've got, and you've been successful in building your firm and building out these arms that then bring in extra income. But for these guys here who are like, say, one-man bands, how would they go about...
Here's what I found.
Shut up, Siri. How would they go about finding a financial advisor that's trustworthy, for example? What would you recommend for that? Or like, because I know, like with me, when I was a broker, like to find one, it's quite difficult.
The way that I felt, so going back 5 years before we had somebody in the firm, was that I just went searching out there. I did some mystery shopping. I looked on LinkedIn, saw somebody that was proactive about the financial advising. I said, local, definitely. That if you're a sole trader and you're in a particular area, the best way to, like, yes, we've got technology. Yes, we've got these sort of things going on where you can do group sessions and stuff like that. But the best thing to do still now is meet them for a coffee and just read the body language, meet the thing, and just reach out to, if you don't just go, I think it's just reaching out to them and sort of looking at, do they look at reviews? Have they got feedback? Is it like, are they known, trusted already? Talk to them about any other brokers that they work with. Is there any other brokers in your network? So if you're part of a network, is there any other brokers in your network that work with local IFAs? So we, like as a firm, we're part of Open Work Partnership. I chose that route because it's a financial advice, and it's a financial advising network that offers mortgages. I always knew that was something I was looking to do. So I had an abundance of financial advisors in Open Work to sort of say they wanted to work with us as a business. So I was quite absolutely lucky that way. But I think just do your homework. Like, it is just about reaching out, doing your homework. You'll find that you'll come up against people anyway. You might just know a financial advisor locally. Like, I've got somebody local if we ever couldn't manage and couldn't cope, I've got a financial advisor local to me that just reached out to me from LinkedIn and stuff like that. So again, you'll be if you put something on LinkedIn saying, look, you're a successful mortgage broker, you build business, it's important that you want to work with a financial advisor out there. put it on LinkedIn. Just put yourself out there. Just go for it and just see what response you get and see what feedback you get, and look at and do a bit of an interview process, do a bit of shopping around, getting some feedback, see what the reviews look like. But I'd start with trying to look at local and someone that's got built trust already, and somebody that you know that you can. And you want to work with like-minded people, don't you? So if you see them on LinkedIn, or you see them on, or you meet up with them and think, Jesus Christ, I'll never work with that person in a million years because they're just not like me whatsoever, then just kick them into toast. It's like interviewing. It's like as though you're recruiting, and put a recruit, which I know is difficult sometimes, but put your recruitment hat on and think, I want to recruit somebody that I want to work with, and then do that. Or look at thinking about working inwardly. So if you're thinking financial advising is something that you want to do long term, you can do that with networks. It's like open work partnership. Like we work with the academy. Like one of my financial advisors came through an academy. What he's looking to do is, he was a mortgage broker, wants to offer financial advice, but then he'll have a mortgage broker working within his firms per se, and then it's something naturally that he's going to work with, kind of thing. So again, if it's something you want to do long term, there is ways and means of doing it. Like the Open Work Academy, and I know I'm going to be biased about this because I'm part of Open Work, but the Academy is superb. Like they put you through the diploma. It's a 12-month program. There's a lot of help and support. So you can still be a mortgage broker, doing your trading, doing everything you're doing while you're learning to do what you're doing. And I'm not sure whether the other networks or any network that people are part of, or Day is part of that, but you can do, there's other ways and means of doing it as well. If that's, so you either refer it and have that referral set up, or actually think about doing it yourself. I know like sales manager from my past world that she's then, because ultimately she's managed people, she then became mortgage, set her own firm up. She's then done a diploma, got 2 mortgage brokers working within her firm that just refer to her. So if that's something you want to do long term, I would 100% do that, because you had on one thing, you had on Dave Corbett a few weeks ago on the session. Yeah. And he talked about, because not everybody think, and I get why, it's about, like, he talked about selling your business, preparing your business to sell. He talked about that. A pension investment, the reality is the financial advice business is worth 5, 6, 7 times more than the mortgage business. So if that is something that sparks something for you on Dave's session, then you need to get into financial advising. Well, you don't need to, you do whatever you want, but your business will be valued far more if you've got funds under management. So like you've got, as a business, we've got a bit that we've just been doing it for the last sort of 2 years, financial advising. We really started this year, financial advising. We've already generated reciprocal business, monthly income coming in as a business, and monthly income for that advisor without them even going out in their bed in the morning. And it's not massive life-changing stuff, but it's like that advisor's got $1,000 a month coming in without even, if he wanted to earn 12 grand a year and have an easy life, he could send out 25 reports on an annual basis and still earn 12 grand.
Yeah.
And he's just started doing it. So it's just about building that up as well. Sorry, Ash, I'm going a little bit too far.
No, it makes sense. It's just an interesting, well, there's a couple of points there, because it's an interesting point about LinkedIn. I think that's something that all of you guys here listening could definitely take from that is, and there's like building on what you just said, but the first one, like LinkedIn, is like how often, and I'm sure Ross might even think with this, because it kind of goes into your kind of Ascend 360 stuff, but like how often are you looking to recruit people and having your recruitment hat on and going out and reaching out to new people to build your business up? Like when we had John on talking about like accountants and stuff, these people are part of your teams, and you don't have to bring them in as your employee or whatever. If you can build a network, LinkedIn's a great idea about putting stuff out there. And I'd be interested to see if anyone has done that. I mean, I've done that before when I was an advisor. I wanted to work with accountants, and that helped. So I really love that one. And I do also agree with you though as well about the idea of if people are looking at this for like a long-term scalable business, then wealth. I had a client who went into wealth, and a guy called Omar, and Omar went into wealth, and that was for the same reason. It was like it's that thing of he had built up a big mortgage book and then was able to bring in mortgage advisors to train them up to give the book away, whilst he then moved into the wealth. And so he was still making money on his mortgage clients without having to work, and also now building wealth clients. And it put him in a very good situation now. And that was only took him a couple of years to build that. So I think, I don't know if it'd be interesting to hear people in this room, if you thought about wealth, but if you have thought about it and want to do it, but I want to know if you do want to do it, what would stop you? Because most advisors, I speak to lots of advisors, I know Dan does as well. I can imagine most people when I speak to them, like, yeah, I'd like to do it, and they're like, it's too hard. I don't think it's as hard as people think.
Well, I actually did it the other way around, because I actually got my CMAP, then got my DIP FA, then went to Quilter.
Yeah, Quilter's the other one I was going to say. Quilter's the only other one that is like open.
But I basically came from the wilderness into the industry after being away for about 10 years combined. So basically the fees that were with Quilter were going to bankrupt me. So I moved to Primus to try and basically I tracked back so that I could then concentrate on mortgage and protection, which I knew a lot better, and try and build the business from there, get the clients, and then move. I've got the DIP FA, so then I can go back. My avenue, or my plan is, if I ever get there, is basically to build up the mortgage business, then go DA, and then go into financial advice as well, and then build up a financial arm, a mortgage arm, and again, because like what you're saying, Craig, I 100% agree with, which is if you work so hard to get a client, why the hell would you give the business away? If you've looked after them, they trust you, they've done, you've looked after them to the point where they need the financial advice, why would you be saying, oh, yes, give it to somebody you know and trust, and you'll probably get a kickback from it anyway. But to me, the You First brand, it was You First Financial Solutions. I've still got that as a name in Company's House that's still there, but it's not in use at the minute. But it's something I can pick up tomorrow and run again. But I'm also going to probably set up You First Protection, and then You First another number of things, because as far as I'm concerned, my attitude to business is basically the company comes first, or sorry, not the company, the client comes first. So everything is based around you. And then what we do is we provide the facility that gets you the financial advice that you need at the time, whether it's protection, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's financial advice, and wills as well. So, and I'm 100% agreeing with Craig. If you've worked hard to get that person on board, then look at the long-term future of that client. And if you're looking at the long-term future of that client, they already trust you. So they're going to trust you with everything.
I mean, just to add to that, I mean, I know you, Craig, and Andrew Perriman, who's my old boss, and some of you might know him. He's very well known in the mortgage industry. But he ended up, he owns Bright Advice. They do very similar to what you did, but they've been doing it for a long time. They've got lots of employees and stuff. But he goes so far as to bring in a white labeled pet insurance company. They have a white labeled pet insurance and like basic GI, like really every single financial thing that you could possibly imagine was covered, whether in my firm I was at before I went self-employed, everything, and for the exact same reason. And that business was highly successful because people would just call in and go, and sure, there was a lot of time wasted to us as an advisor, you might feel like that, but to a business owner, because this is the business owner point of view, Andrew is making sure that every single person that came through, whenever they needed mortgage, not financial advice of any kind, Bright Advice was who they spoke to about everything. Like, and so to the point where they would run a quote, against compare the market to this. They call them and say, "Oh, how this market, but would you?" And so that he built that in over 20 years. So it takes a long time, but it's one of those things where I watched someone do it before I worked with Craig. I watched someone do it and was like, holy shit, this is insane. And then when I started to work with Craig and realized what went on under the hood, it was quite mind blowing that it can be done. It just takes some planning. and a lot of brokers I know, and people I'm sure you might, when I've really questioned them, like, why are you not putting insurance in place? Why are you not either outsourcing your insurance? Again, same thing. There's a lot of advisors I know, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Craig. There's a lot of advisors I know who are doing a shoddy, shitty job on insurance because they don't have the time or don't really want to, but they don't have the kind of self-awareness to say, well, why don't I find someone who can do my insurance like I would an IFA? Because you can make probably double what you're making if you're doing a crappy job if you outsource to somebody who is keeping it closed loop. I think that's something else. I've definitely, it's not just IFA, it's insurance as well. You don't have to do it if you don't have the time or don't like doing it, but you should find someone then.
I think going back to your point Ash, before, I think people, in my experience, it's not knowing what to do. It sounds, and it was for me, like it was when I sort of looked at, like I said, I don't want to do diploma. Like if I was Mark right now, I've got to do some bridging papers to get my I did it 10 years ago, whatever, however many years ago it was. I've got to do some bridging stuff to do that. That's not what I wanted to do. Like for me, it's not what I wanted to do, but it's because for me, it was working on, what's important to me is working on the firm and working on the business. And that's what I do day in, day out. And I think it's just difficult sometimes to think, well, where do I start? Where do I go? How do I look to become a financial advisor? And do I want that? Can I be bothered with that? And I'm glad that Mark's agreed with me, like, because it is something like if you're being a mortgage broker, what growth means very different things to very different people. So what I would class as growth will be totally different to what Gav classes as growth, to Becky, to you, to Dan. Like we all class growth as different things. So it's got to be relevant to you. And you might be thinking, well, as a mortgage broker, I don't want to be a financial advisor. I don't want to grow that side of things. But and that's fine. If that's your choice, that's your call, then fine, that's what you want to do. But don't put it off if it's just because you don't know where to start. I think that's my point, is because there's a lot of people out there that can help you. I certainly can point you in the right direction, sort of show you like how it can start, where to go, what to do and stuff like that. And I've got no problems with that. And like I said, I'm not sort of saying that I've got one way of doing it. There is a lot of other ways of doing it. But from what I've seen, close hand, because there's somebody with this in my firm that's done it. He was a successful mortgage broker and is now full financial advising. So he's doing his mortgage broker, still doing his mortgage broking, but then he's looking after the client from every single angle possible. So he's doing the protection, he's doing the GI, he's doing the pension. And that's the sort of thing, is that it's like compounded, because what you find is that people go, oh, I've not got anybody sat there that's got 200 grand in the bank. You don't have to. They will have some money in the bank at some stage. It might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be 30 years time. But if they're your client, they'll come to you. And so if you're setting up a pension for somebody today, that's a £50 a month putting into a pension pot. You will earn money from that, and then you will also then earn more. And it's just compound on the back of there. So. I just realised the time. So thanks, Gav. Thanks for your feedback as well.
Yeah, I just realised the time as well. It's fun though. It's good. I agree.
So I think just the set, if anybody's got any, I'm sure you'll tag me and Dan, and you both know, I will help anybody. I will answer any question. I will, whatever people have got, you will get an honest answer. There's no bullshit or hidden agenda with me. It is what it is. So, and if you've got any questions that you don't want to talk about on here or anything, then honestly just message me and I'll give you my opinion.
On Facebook,
you can do whatever you want to do it.
How are people best to get in touch with you, Craig? Is it through your website or Facebook or what?
LinkedIn, Facebook, however, we've got the website as well. Just then it's got links onto my LinkedIn on there and the Facebook and stuff like that as well. So more than happy to have it. Just don't Google Craig Skelton, because there was a mixed martial arts guy in America called Craig Skelton.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've got craigskelton.com. I could have had .com, but then I just didn't want that. So, because you can obviously see, to be fair, I did used to box, so, but I could never do mixed martial. That was a long time ago, and I would never do mixed martial arts.
It's a different game, that, isn't it? Too much.
Absolutely, absolutely, it is.
Yeah. Nice one. Well, appreciate that, Craig. Thank you very much. And yeah, anybody
No
got
problem.
anything, Craig? Just like I say, I'll tag you. I'll post this in our group, and I need to invite you to the group, I think, but I'll tag you in it so people can comment on it and you can chip in and stuff. So yeah, nice one, guys.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Have a nice evening.
Craig.
Yeah. Cheers, Craig.
See you soon. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Dan, can I speak to you briefly?
Yeah, mate. Good. Yeah, sure. I'll stay on.
Yeah, no, well, Craig, I'll probably be in touch. Oh, he's gone. That's fine. No, but see, how do you get over these idiots in Facebook having you to put in a housing category?
Oh yeah, you messaged me earlier about it. Sorry, I'm not about it. It's difficult. There's two ways of doing it. So one is just to kind of avoid, because it's an algorithm, so it picks up on the word mortgage. So if you can,
I haven't got any mortgage wording in the damn stuff that I'm doing.
Right, it must be something else then that's kind of, you need to think out of the box in terms of, or
I think it's because it's my name, You First Mortgages.
Right. Yeah.
Like put like this, like I had one of their bleeding meta concierge support, and like,
that's shit.
Yeah, basically this is the response I got. I understand that you are having an issue with adding your ads into a special ad category. As per my checking, you have correctly added the ad to housing. And I'm saying, like, how fucking stupid are you? I've been telling you I don't want to be in it, and I'm forced to be put in it.
Yeah.
Advertising products to people that are 65 years of age that can't even qualify for the flipping products. Do you know what I mean? So I'm basically going to be writing again, but I'm just trying to do it the right way, but I'm just being hit with like in all fairness, it was like £3 of the ad was spent on that particular section of society, but at the same time it's £3 that it could have went to somebody else that was actually able to qualify.
Yeah.
I'm just
well, like I said, there's two ways about it. One is to, well, like you say, if that is the thing that's picking it up on the fact that your name, the page name has got mortgage in it, then there's no real way around it other than just to put it as that category. Obviously, there is limitations in terms of your targeting, but some people are doing it like, you know, Peter, he's up your way. It was in the program. Peter Merdigan. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I can't remember it. Yeah, but yeah.
But he's been running it in the special ad categories, and he's not had a problem. I think it is because the main thing is that you can't get really specific with the targeting. You've got there's certain like interests that you just can't choose when you're on one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But that can be a good thing, really, because you don't really want to go really narrow with the targeting. You want to have it quite broad with the more bigger, kind of wider audiences.
Yeah.
Because that's where it lets the algorithm do the work rather than you setting the targeting. Because when you set it really narrow, it doesn't give the algorithm any work to find people who are kind of similar to people that are responding to it.
Yeah, it's all right. Like it's like we did a bit while it was figuring out that we were like I did the 3 ads, and actually it was interesting because like there was 2 were video ads. One video was being watched by females, and the other video ad was being watched by males. Really?
What was the difference in the video?
One was a cartoon, and one was more movie.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it was a small amount of data, but it was just interesting. Whereas with the picture, it got quite a bit of it was actually more even, in all fairness.
Yeah.
But saying that, the picture ad that I was doing was getting, it was like more like £2, £2.50 or $2.50 it is, because they never do it in pounds or pence.
I got it in dollars.
Yeah, they do it in dollars, but you know what I mean. But like they were coming in at a click for that. but for some reason or other, they're not clicking on the video, and I don't understand what's happening. I'm getting it that they're clicking through, but they're not clicking on the video. So it's something, and it's not, they're not even registering on the page.
So they're clicking through to the page, but not opting in to the page.
Yeah, they're not into the page. So I don't know whether we scared them off with the page or what. So what I did was I just stuck the video on top now, and then all the stuff around it. Because like there was two videos. There was one video of me where they didn't have to opt in to see it, which is insane. I hope you enjoyed the ad. Thanks for coming. This is what we're going to be talking about, and I hope it's beneficial to you, type of thing. So, but at the same time, there's nobody clicking on the actual live video. So I'm trying to figure out how to rectify that.
Did I check I checked your video, but I don't think I've seen your actual funnel pages, have I?
No, I don't think so. Like I took your funnel, your 12-page funnel, or 12 email funnel, just rewrote it to do with income protection, in all fairness, and building stories around that as well. But
the actual funnel pages, then, have you done them on Builder?
Everything's done. We've done active campaign is where we put the email and the CRM.
So where's the actual video where you've been pushing the ads to?
It's on Builderall, but you can
Yeah.
actually do that campaign as well. I'm actually looking at putting, and I'm actually going to do remortgages, which is what the plan was. We were looking at stuff today to do remortgages and run another. Again, remortgages, like, I know before I kick a ball, that's going to be housing categories. Bugger all I can do about it is be broad and that'll be it. But at the same time, I'm looking at doing the video for it. But at the same time, I've got a number of short videos that I have that I stuck together. They're just too random in their production value, so I'll have to reshoot it all again. But it's only about 10 minutes of video. But I haven't used your template for this one. I've just given the information without any, what do you call it? Any, what is it? Examples. It's not examples, you call it.
Testimonials.
No, not testimonials. The other one where it's examples of clients, basically.
Yeah, like case studies.
That's it. Yeah, I can never remember flipping case studies. I don't know what it is, but I can never remember what you call them. But anyway, so I haven't got any of them built into it yet, but that's something I'm going to work on over the rest of this week, because I think if we go on that line, and then I've actually done a couple of those wee videos just to, I'm going to start knocking doors as well as doing that, because I'm on a tipping point with the business at the minute. So it's a case of I need to make it work very, very quickly.
Right.
Actually, which is why I might actually touch base with Craig, because I think he had some good points with actually just going around how estate agents and seeing what the crack is there. Just to see, so I just need leads. I've got, all my customers love me, but at the same time, I just don't have enough of the damn people. Do you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But
what about the organic stuff? Have you done much with the organic, like Facebook?
Yeah, I do organic stuff all the time. I'm doing the stuff organically on Facebook as well, but I'm not getting any traction with it. I don't know why.
Are you doing any of the like farming and hunting, like going into other groups and building up your profile with your ideal client? And who is it? I don't know. Obviously, I've lost track. But who is it? Who's your ideal client at the minute?
Basically, like I don't really have NHS is basically where I'm getting some clients. But listen, I actually looked at my last 20 or 25, 30 cases, and I've got 4 nurses in there. I've got 4 people from Poland. I've got 2 Nigerians. I've got 5. No, actually it's 6 single people looking mortgages. You know what I mean? There's nothing actually, like, they are literally a hodgepodge. And the only thing that they have actually of a similarity is me being in the bloody middle of them. That's the only flipping, the only frigging common.
Well, because obviously, like, out of those, the kind of the foreign people would want to deal with foreign brokers probably, so they'd have an advantage. But like NHS, obviously that's one that we've talked about before, isn't it? I think it's a good one that obviously, yeah, a lot of brokers do go for that niche, but it's a fucking shit ton of them, isn't it? It's like the biggest, I think it's the second biggest employer in Europe.
Well, in all fairness, like the nurses that like the two Nigerians were nurses.
Yeah.
Two of my single clients were nurses, and there was also another two other nurses in couples. Do you know what I mean? So but I just don't know. People just randomly find me, and when they come to me, they stay with me. But it's
that's it. Well, you're just at the moment. It's kind of a reactive thing, isn't it? It's just the business that you're getting is just coming to you. But I think if you just get specific about who it is that you wanted in terms of like NHS, I'd just do that. Obviously, like I say, we talked about it before, and just go through those modules and structure your profile around NHS staff members. Set up a group on Facebook, like your own group, saying like NHS mortgage help or financial help, and just go out into these groups and start adding them to your profile, and then adding them to your group and posting stuff out about NHS stuff on your page. And when you do that, and you're doing it every day, if you're adding 20 NHS staff members every day and you're putting yourself in front of them every day, making them aware of what it is that you do and how you can help them specifically, people start to come to you. And then you can start to, when people do interact, just message them and say, oh, thanks for commenting on my post, or what was it that made you resonated with you, kind of thing, and just building those connections. And it will happen if you proactive at doing that, at building, at going out after him, rather than just kind of waiting for them to come to you, because it'll just not happen if you do that. If you're just posting content and then just waiting for people to look at it and come to you, you're just waiting forever. It's just about being proactive and going out for it.
No, like that's what I've got a fella in with me, so I've got him doing that as well now every day. Basically just going onto the different websites and targeting people. But like that's why I'm going to have a little bit of a session with these ones tomorrow, and find out, because like an income protection product or a family income benefit product is nothing to do with loans or mortgages or houses.
No,
so sure. It shouldn't be put into housing.
Well, to be honest, I'd be doing that. I'd be doing the organic before the ads. No, that's why we'd set it out in that order, to get some traction that way. And then again, the ads should be focused on a niche and if it's NHS, structure your ads around the NHS and around their pain points and around their, because I know one of their pain points is they get paid a lot in overtime, don't they? Which a lot of lenders don't take into account. So when you put that out there and you say, are you an NHS staff member? Have you tried to get a mortgage to your bank and they've said no because they didn't take into account your overtime? And a lot of them will see that and it gets their attention, rather than just putting stuff out that's generic for anyone and it's just not resonating with anybody. But
no, it's all a work in progress. I know a hell of a lot more now than what I did know 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So it's good.
Yeah, so it's all about progressing. But that's what I'd start with. Before you spend a lot of money on the ads, it's about getting that messaging right, testing it on the organic side, and making sure it's working with NHS. And then when it is, then that it's working on the organic, so it's going to work on the ads on a bigger scale. But yeah, I'd just crack on with the NHS, because like you said, you've helped a lot of them before. And
like the ones that have come to me, like I've done the remortgaging, I've done their mortgage, I've got them, I've got them what they needed to get done. Really, it's like any time it comes to me, that they always get a result at the end of the day.
Well, that's it. That's what you're there to do, get them results. So if you've proven to get them results, you can get more of them results, and you learn. Once you're dealing with more NHS, you get to learn more about them, and then that sharpens up your marketing, what you're putting into the message to resonate with those people.
No problem. That's brilliant. Listen, thanks. Appreciate that anyway. All right, listen, I'll let you get on. Enjoy your, and I'll be speaking to you, I'm sure, very soon anyway.
Yeah, no worry, mate. No problem.
Have a good one. Bye now.
Yeah, you too, Matt. Take care.